You know that feeling?
Mm.
Maybe the light's just perfect. There's this gentle warmth. And you just feel completely content just being.
Mm-hmm.
The word hygge probably popped into your head. It's everywhere now, isn't it? This sort of global shorthand for cozy.
It really is.
But if you think it just stops with like soft blankets and a few candles, well, you're really in for something more today. This deep dive, we're going way beyond that.
Exactly. We're really going to explore hygge today, this concept that's so Danish. We've pulled together quite a bit, research, articles, cultural takes to try and get to the heart of it.
Yeah, our goal here is to kind of cut through that surface idea of hygge being just, coziness. We want to unpack it as this whole cultural philosophy, really, about finding contentment, real connection, well-being in those simple everyday moments we often miss.
Hmm.
Think of this as your shortcut to understanding what hygge really is, its cultural weight, and maybe why it seems to hit home for so many people right now.
And for you, the learner, listening in, this should give you a pretty thorough but still concise understanding. We'll definitely be pulling out some surprising bits, some practical stuff you can actually, use in your own life, your own learning.
Yeah, get ready for a few aha moments, hopefully.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's dive in. Hygge. It's famously tricky to translate directly into English, isn't it? We hear words like coziness, sure, or comfort.
Right. Conviviality, even contentment.
Mhm.
And those all touch on aspects of it, but none of them quite nail the whole thing.
So what do the Danes themselves say?
Well, they describe it as a form of everyday togetherness, or a pleasant and highly valued everyday experience of safety, quality, personal wholeness, and a spontaneous social flow. It points to something deeper, like a psychological state you achieve.
It's not just a noun either. It's like flexible in Danish.
Oh, completely. You can feel Higgs, like I am feeling Higgs, but you can also do Higgs. You might say, shall we Higg tonight? Suggesting you're going to actively create that vibe. And then there's the adjective hygge, to describe something, a place, an evening, a feeling that has that quality.
And the flip side, unhygelig. That sounds intense. Not cozy.
It's definitely stronger. It actually translates more closely to scary or fearful.
Wow.
Yeah, and that contrast, it really highlights how fundamental safety and security are to the whole concept of hygge. You can't really feel hygge if you don't feel safe first. It's foundational.
That makes so much sense. But you can have both at once. You mentioned something about that.
You can. Like imagine a really cozy evening, indoors, maybe candles lit, blankets, but you're watching a properly scary horror movie.
Okay, yeah.
The Danes capture that perfectly, hygge Gaffen, a cozy evening, but a Hygge film, a scary movie. The hygge creates this bubble of safety almost that lets you enjoy the thrill without feeling genuinely threatened.
Okay, that's fascinating. Let's talk roots. Where does this word even come from? It's not new, is it?
Oh, not at all. Its origins are pretty deep, tracing back to Old Norse. Some linguists see connections to hygge, which meant to think, or even hug.
Hug?
Yeah, hug was a really broad term meaning something like soul, mind, consciousness.
Soul, mind, consciousness. Okay, that definitely adds layers beyond just like physical comfort. It
Yeah.
sounds more mental, intentional.
It really does. And there's another Old Norse word, hygge, meaning to comfort, also linked to hug. And maybe even a Low German word from the 1560s, hug, meaning to embrace.
So thinking, mind, soul, comfort, embrace. It's all weaving together into something pretty fundamental about, well, feeling good and secure.
Exactly. Some theories even connect it back to this Old Norse idea of being protected from the outside world, with fire being a key symbol, warmth, light, safety.
Oh, the hearth.
Right. So the origins really point towards hygge being about creating this mental and emotional sanctuary. The candles, the blankets, they're almost like tools to help build that inner feeling of refuge.
And while Norwegians have a similar word, it's the Danes who really run with it, culturally speaking.
That's a really key distinction, yeah. In Norway, hygge is common, means coziness, pretty straightforward. But in Denmark, it's become, well, almost a pillar of their cultural identity.
Why the difference, do you think, given the shared history?
It suggests a kind of conscious cultural choice in Denmark. It became more than just a word. It evolved into a shared value, something actively cultivated.
A conscious choice, maybe linked to history or the environment.
That's very possible. Some historians connect its rise to maybe periods of hardship, like Denmark faced economic struggles in the 19th century. Finding comfort and connection in simple things would have been vital then.
Makes sense. A coping mechanism almost.
Could be. And, of course, you can't ignore the Danish winters, long, dark. It just naturally pushes people indoors, seeking warmth, light, company. hygge could be a cultural adaptation to that. Plus, it fits really well with Danish values like equality and community focus.
So it's really baked into the Danish cultural DNA.
You could definitely say that. Meek Wicking from the Happiness Research Institute, he put it brilliantly. He said, basically, what freedom is to Americans, hygge is to Danes.
Wow, that's a strong statement.
It really shows how central it is. It's not just a nice extra, it's fundamental to their self-image, their way of life.
And you see it everywhere, in language, traditions.
Yeah. It's tied up with other key Danish concepts like happiness and pride, which is like safety or security. You see it in their food, their design, that famous Danish minimalism, how they socialize, how they spend their free time. It cuts across everything.
And then there's the happiness connection. Denmark always ranks super high on those global happiness reports. Is hygge the secret sauce?
Well, it's probably complicated. Hygge definitely contributes to well-being, no doubt. But Denmark also has things like universal health care, free education, strong social safety nets.
Right, that provides a foundation of security.
Exactly. So that security might give people the headspace to cultivate hygge. It could be both a cause and an effect. Hygge helps people feel good, and a society that supports its citizens allows hygge to flourish.
It's like they actively use it, especially in winter, as a strategy.
Yeah, you hear that a lot, like the Danes fight the darkness with their best weapon, hygge, and all those candles. It's not just passive enjoyment, it's almost like cultural resilience.
Yeah.
A way to protect their well-being by turning inward, creating warmth, focusing on connection when the outside world is, well, dark and cold.
Okay, so moving past the cozy surface, what's the actual philosophy behind it? What are the core values driving this?
At its core, hygge is really about finding deep contentment in simplicity, in being truly present, and in nurturing those close connections. It's a choice to prioritize certain values.
Like what? What are these core values?
Well, first off, simplicity. Maybe even a kind of gentle minimalism. Enjoying simple pleasures, not needing extravagance. There's this idea that the more bling, the less hygge.
I like that. It pushes back against consumerism a bit.
Totally. Then there's presence. Mindfulness, really. Being fully there in the moment, putting away the phone, savoring the simple act of sipping tea or having a conversation. It's like an everyday baked-in mindfulness practice.
Not necessarily meditating on a cushion, but being mindful in everyday life.
Exactly. And then togetherness. Connection. That's huge. Quality time with loved ones, family, close friends, small groups, relaxed atmosphere, intimacy.
Quality over quantity, it sounds like.
Definitely. Equality is also important in high-click settings. No one person takes over, everyone chips in. It reflects broader Danish values about consensus, everyone being valued.
That would make things feel more relaxed, more comfortable for everyone.
And gratitude, consciously appreciating the small good things, and then the tangible stuff. Comfort, warmth, safety, shelter. Those create the physical foundation.
You can almost feel that sense of being safe and warm.
Right. And finally, harmony, the sort of truce. In hygge moments, there's usually an unspoken agreement to leave arguments, controversies, negativity at the door.
Like a little peace treaty for the evening.
Kind of. It creates a sanctuary. And that equality and harmony, they really help build that feeling of togetherness and safety.
So embracing these values, it shifts your mindset.
Yeah, it cultivates what you might call the hygge mindset.
Yeah.
It's about consciously slowing down, finding joy in ordinary things. It acts as a kind of antidote, really, to the pressures of modern life, the stress, the rush, the constant digital noise.
Okay, we get the philosophy. Now, the practical side. How do you do hygge? What are the key ingredients?
Atmosphere is everything. That's what you hear again and again. It's about engaging the senses.
Okay, let's start with lighting. Seems like a big one for hygge.
Oh, it's crucial. Probably the most important element for creating that hygge feeling. You want soft, warm, diffuse light. Definitely avoid harsh overhead lights. Fluorescents are basically the enemy of hygge.
And candles, they're practically the symbol of hygge, right?
Absolutely. Danes burn an incredible amount of candles, especially in winter. They even call them Levenley's living lights.
Living lights, that's lovely.
Isn't it? And apparently, someone who spoils the mood is a lysis-lucker. Literally. The one who puts out the candles.
Huh. Okay, noted. But safety first, obviously.
Of course. Good quality battery candles or soft fairy lights can work really well too. It's about that warm, inviting glow.
So beyond candles,
Yeah.
lamps, fireplaces.
Yep. Lamps casting warm pools of light, not blasting the whole room. Fairy lights, definitely. The glow from a fireplace is peak hygge. And just making the most of natural light during the day is also part of it.
Got it. Warm, gentle light. What about touch? Textures?
Super important. Tactile comfort. Think plush blankets, wool, fleece, soft cushions, rugs. Natural materials like wood have a nice feel.
Hmm.
Even what you wear counts: soft sweaters, comfy socks.
Cozy clothes are definitely Heislig.
Totally. It's all about creating that sense of physical ease.
And the space itself, the decor.
It leans towards simplicity, function, and nature. Lots of wood, maybe stone, plants are big. Bookshelves, ceramics, maybe some vintage finds that have meaning. Importantly, it's usually uncluttered, organized.
Less visual noise, more calm.
Exactly. The aim is to create a personal sanctuary, somewhere that feels safe, welcoming, and genuinely you.
A sanctuary. And I've heard the term hygge. What's that?
Ah, the high krog. It literally means a cozy nook. It's like a little dedicated spot in your home just for relaxing.
Your personal comfy corner.
Precisely. Maybe an armchair by the window with a nice view piled with cushions and a blanket. Or a spot by the fire. It's got the soft textures, the good lighting, perfect for reading, sipping tea, just chilling.
I need one of those.
Right. And it shows that while hygge values togetherness, it also values that personal downtime, that self-soothing space. It's about balance.
A little personal oasis.
Yeah.
And you mentioned engaging the senses.
Yes, that seems key to how hygge works. The soft light, the nice textures, maybe pleasant smells like baking or coffee, the taste of a warm drink. Quiet, calming sounds. Uses sensory input to shift your emotional state towards calm and safety. Grounds you in the moment.
Okay, let's talk food and drink. My favorite part. How does hygge taste?
Huh. Well, it tastes like comfort, indulgence, and sharing. Hearty, simple, often homemade food. And sweets are definitely hygge.
Permission to eat cake?
Absolutely. Cakes, pastries, chocolate. It's about being kind to yourself, savoring pleasure, taking a break from being super strict with diets.
I'm on board with that. And drinks.
Warm drinks are essential.
Uh-huh.
Coffee is huge in Denmark, but also tea, hot chocolate, and things like gløgg, their spiced mulled wine in winter. Just holding a warm mug feels comforting, doesn't it?
It really does, especially on a cold day. But it's not just what you eat or drink, right? It's the how.
Exactly. The process matters. Slow cooking, like stews simmering for hours or baking bread, that's very hygge. There's even a saying, the longer it takes to cook, the more hygge it is.
Wow. Okay, so it elevates the preparation itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
it becomes a mindful activity, not just a chore. And often, cooking or baking is done together. Then sharing the meal, lingering over conversation for ages. That's pure social hygge. It's the whole ritual.
The whole ritual. I like that. Now, the social side, that togetherness, how does that work in practice?
Connection is really central. It's about quality time with your inner circle family, close friends. Hygge prefers small, intimate gatherings over big parties.
More appealing for introverts, maybe.
It can be, yeah. Less overwhelming, more meaningful connection. And remember, the equality and harmony. No one dominates, people share tasks, and you generally avoid controversial topics. Keep it relaxed, positive.
Great, a safe space for everyone.
Mm-hmm. And often, this happens at home, home hygge, emphasizing the comfort and safety of your own space as the place for connection.
Okay, so safe, comfortable social time. What about activities? Beyond eating and chatting.
Lots of simple things.
Yeah.
Relaxing stuff, reading, listening to calming music, watching movies, playing board
These
games.
classics.
Yep. And connecting with nature is surprisingly big in hygge, even though we associate it with indoors. Walks, even in winter picnics, gardening, just bringing flowers or branches inside.
Great, bringing nature in.
And simple hobbies, knitting, baking, making things with your hands, and traditions. Regular things like a weekly game night or an annual get-together. They create built-in opportunities for hygge and connection.
It's really about weaving these moments of comfort, connection, and simple joy into the everyday. So, okay, we know what it is, but what does it actually do for us? What are the real benefits for well-being?
That's the crucial question, isn't it? And while maybe there aren't huge studies on hygge as one single thing, there's tons of research on its components. Social connection, mindfulness, feeling safe.
Right.
And that research, plus lots of anecdotal evidence, points to some really significant benefits for our mental, emotional, and social health.
Let's start with the mental and emotional side. How does hygge help our minds?
Well, stress reduction is a big one. All that emphasis on slowing down, relaxing, creating calm spaces, it genuinely helps ease daily stress. Physiologically, that could mean lower cortisol levels, a calmer nervous system.
Makes sense. Less fight or flight.
Exactly. And that ties into better mood, more happiness. People often link Denmark's happiness rankings to hygge, at least partly. Enjoying simple pleasures, connecting with people that boosts dopamine, serotonin, all the good stuff.
So less stress. More happy chemicals. What else?
It definitely encourages mindfulness and presence. By getting you to focus on the now, savoring small moments, it's a natural way to practice being present. And it boosts feelings of safety and security just by creating those cozy, protected environments.
That feeling of safety must be key.
It really is. And that foundation of safety can then help reduce anxiety, maybe even ease symptoms of depression. The whole package, calming, comforting, connecting, it's inherently therapeutic.
It sounds like it could genuinely be used in therapy settings.
People are exploring that.
Mhm.
It also promotes self-compassion, self-care. It's about being kind to yourself, taking breaks, doing things that feel good. Some research even hints at cognitive benefits. Better focus, less mental fatigue, maybe because you're less stressed and more mindful. Yeah, there have been studies looking at, say, how incarcerated women in Denmark use hygge principles to feel safer, or how people with chronic illnesses use it to improve their quality of life.
Wow, that shows it goes way beyond just feeling cozy for an evening. What about socially? How does it help our connections?
Well, that emphasis on togetherness is huge. It pushes you to spend real quality time with your close people, which we know is critical for health and even longevity.
Build stronger bonds.
Definitely. It creates a sense of belonging, community, fights loneliness, and because the atmosphere is safe and relaxed, it encourages more trust, openness, intimacy in relationships.
Makes sense. You feel safer, you open up more.
hmm Plus, that positive social interaction, maybe even gentle touch like a shared blanket, could boost oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It creates this lovely positive loop. Comfort leads to connection. Connection enhances comfort.
A virtuous cycle.
Exactly. And while it feels introvert-friendly, it's really about fostering connection in a way that feels good and sustainable for everyone involved.
Okay, this all sounds great. How do we actually do more of this? How do we bring hygge into our lives wherever we are, whatever the season? Doesn't sound like it needs a massive life change.
Not at all. It's more about small, conscious choices. Weaving more warmth, presence, connection into the everyday. Let's start at home.
Okay, practical steps for home hygge.
Think atmosphere first. Soften the lighting lamps, candles safely. Layer up textures, blankets, cushions, rugs. Bring in nature plants, wood. Tidy up a bit, calm space, calm mind. Maybe carve out that hygge, your cozy nook.
My personal look, yes.
And think scents, maybe soft music. Then do hygge things there. Read a real book. Bake something simple. Savor a hot drink mindfully. Build little rituals, mindful morning coffee, relaxing bedtime routine. It's about making ordinary moments feel a bit more special.
Adding intention and enjoyment to the everyday routines. Nice. Can we take it outside the home? Like to work? Is that possible?
Yeah, you can definitely adapt the principles. Obviously, it depends on your workplace. You could try to personalize your desk, photos, a favorite mug, maybe a plant or a softer lamp if allowed. Make it feel a bit more yours.
Okay.
And take proper breaks. Step away from the screen. Have your tea without typing. Go for a short walk. Find a quiet moment. Try to connect with colleagues informally. Maybe share some treats like the Swedish fika idea.
Ah, the coffee and cake break.
Right. And maybe simplify routines to make transitions smoother. It's just recognizing we need well-being and connection at work too.
Little pockets of calm and connection during the workday. What about socially, beyond just home gatherings?
Prioritize that quality time with your core people. Choose smaller, relaxed get-togethers focused on connection, not perfection. Ditch the phones when you're together.
Ooh, that's a big one. Be present.
Totally. And maybe start some simple traditions for regular connection, weekly dinner, monthly games, whatever works. It's about intentionally nurturing those relationships in a low-key, enjoyable way.
Deliberate, low-pressure connection. Now, hygge feels very wintry, but you said it's year-round.
Absolutely. Winter's the classic season. Sure, candles, fires, blankets, stews, baking. But summer, hygge just moves outdoors.
Like what?
Picnics, barbecues, long evenings outside, bike rides, outdoor meals, just enjoying nature. Then fall's the transition, maybe bring back the candles, cozy sweaters, warm cider, walks in the leaves.
So the core ideas stay the same: presence, connection, simplicity, comfort, but the activities change with the seasons.
Exactly. It's a mindset, adaptable all year.
Okay, so this very Danish thing went global. What happened then?
Big time. Around the mid-2010s, loads of books came out, media picked it up, everyone was fascinated by Denmark being so happy. It even got shortlisted for Oxford Dictionary's Word of the Year in 2016.
Wow.
But outside Denmark, it often got, oh, well, simplified, usually boiled down to just coziness, which is nice, and people liked it as an escape from modern stress, but it lost some nuance.
And then came the commercialization, the hygge washing.
Oh, yeah. Suddenly, everything was hygge. Hygge candles, hygge socks, hygge books telling you what to buy.
Right.
And that got criticized, obviously. Turning a feeling into stuff you buy kind of misses the point of simplicity, doesn't it? Apparently, lots of Scandinavians found the whole trend pretty amusing, maybe a bit superficial. It's what happens when cultural ideas become commodities.
Selling a feeling. Did it have other impacts?
Interestingly, yes. Some see hygge as Danish soft power. Denmark kind of leaned into it, using the positive image to boost tourism, attract students, promote business, harnessing those cozy vibes for national branding.
Exporting well-being. But not everyone was sold on the global trend. Were there critiques?
Definitely. Besides superficiality, some people pointed out it could be kind of exclusive. Creating a cozy us can mean there's a them left out.
The dark side of cozy.
Maybe. Some anthropologists talked about it creating a magic circle that turns its back on outsiders. And the commercial side creates economic barriers, like you need expensive throws to be truly hygge. Even within Denmark, some say there can be pressure to conform to this cozy ideal. And the global trend, especially the high-end version, could seem a bit smug or elitist. So yeah, important to see the complexities.
It's a good reminder that even nice concepts can get complicated when they travel. Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the absolute core of hygge we should hold on to?
I think authentic hygge at its heart is that Danish philosophy about finding warmth, intimacy, contentment through simple moments and real connection.
And its global appeal, despite the hype, suggests it taps into something real, right?
Absolutely. It speaks to a real need we have today, an antidote to the speed, the isolation, the digital overload. And yeah, that link to Danish happiness is aspirational for many.
But important to remember the critiques, too.
For sure. The simplification, the potential for exclusion or pressure, those are valid points to keep in mind.
Ultimately, though, it's about the spirit.
Exactly. The real value is embracing the spirit of hygge, choosing warmth, presence, simplicity, connection, in ways that feel authentic to you.
So for you listening, maybe think about how you could weave some of those principles into your own life, your culture, even just the season you're in right now.
And maybe a final thought to chew on. In this really complex world we live in, how can deliberately creating these small moments of warmth and connection actually become a sustainable way to boost your own well-being? Or maybe think about this. What are those universal human needs for comfort, belonging, simple joy that hygge really taps into, no matter where we come from?